Willow Springs, California, home of the fastest road in the West. Here, two builders will go head-to-head, putting their lives on the line in a biker build-off unlike anything the world has ever seen. But before they can race these bikes, they've got to build them. Rising to the test, from Long Beach, California, Roland Sands.
This is the baddest bike I've ever built.
And from Huntington Beach, California, Jesse Rooke.
So now we're getting somewhere.
These two hotshots will have just 10 days to build high-velocity hybrid choppers that can go 150 miles an hour without falling apart. Jesse Rooke and Roland Sands risking their bodies and reputations in the first ever Biker Build-Off Custom Race Bike Challenge. Shaking up Southern California is former motocross and go-kart racer Jesse Rooke. In 2002, Jesse shocked the custom world with his Schwinn bicycle-inspired Cali Cruiser. From there, he went on to design and fabricate one radical award-winning bike after another. But for this build-off, Jesse is going back to his roots. He will attempt to build a 100% race-ready custom in only 10 days.
Yeah, normally we build custom bikes for recreational use. Now we're building a custom race bike, which a custom race bike, you're taking risks, you know, with your life, and you're pushing the limits all the time. So this bike is built to push those limits. Stronger, faster, lighter, better.
On this race bike, Jesse is working from the ground up.
We're building our own frame here because there's nobody that builds anything for what we're doing. There's nothing like this. The overall look of this bike when we get done is going to be Cali Cruiser on speed for racing.
For this challenge, Jesse must design a frame that can withstand 3 separate courses at the Willow Springs racetrack: a dirt flat track, a drag strip, and a no-holds-barred 2.5-mile road course. A cracked frame could mean disaster.
So this is the start. This is one of our backbone pieces, if you will.
Just a few miles down the coast in Long Beach, California, Roland Sands prepares for action. A former champion racer, Roland's need for speed and performance have inspired bikes that bridge the gap between conventional choppers and high-tech sport bikes. With a shortened wheelbase, low-slung bars, and aggressive lines, Roland's innovative designs test the limits of form and function. Day one at Roland Sands Design. After hours of meticulous planning, Roland prepares to bring his vision to life.
This bike is going to be like the quintessential Harley-Davidson Street Fighter, like everything that I could think of to put in this thing to make it like a high-performance Harley-Davidson twin-cam race bike. This is it. This is the ultimate.
To help build his first ever custom race bike, Roland assembles a team of highly skilled builders. Rocket engineer Tom Foster, skilled mechanic Brett Marshall, and master fabricator Rodney Aguirre. But one key builder is missing from Roland's team because he's 20 miles up the coast at Rooke Customs. Jesse has recruited Roland's former mechanic and expert builder, Todd Silicato.
Only races Roland won was because Todd made the bike go fast, so now I got him on my side.
As an American Motorcycle Association Mechanic of the Year, Todd led Roland Sands to over 10 national wins and the AMA Championship.
I would say Roland's success is 90% due to Todd.
With his first-hand knowledge of the competition, Todd makes an early prediction.
If he works on it himself, a lot of times he'll leave things loose, so we might be okay there.
If Roland works on it at all, we're winning.
At Roland Designs, the team begins with the top section of the trellis frame already built, which is an option allowed by biker build-off regulations. But for the bottom, Mr. Sands will attempt something very radical. He'll use the motor and transmission as the bottom rails.
We use a Harley-Davidson twin cam motor, stock Harley-Davidson twin cam cases and transmission, so that we're able to get that unified construction. And what that does is gives us a much more rigid setup. We're losing the weight of the bottom rail, and we're connecting the links and using the engine as a stressed member. It's definitely a different method, and people might not think it's the best idea, but when you put it on the racetrack and you see us going fast on the bike, I think it's going to prove what this setup's going to do. It's going to be 124 inches of pure hate.
Back at Rooke Customs, Jesse abandons the traditional Harley V-twin for a top-of-the-line 950cc KTM race motor. But its complicated design is posing problems.
Right now, we have a lot of challenges ahead of us. You can see all these wires and stuff and tubes and everything that's hanging off of it. So we have, I don't even know, a lot of stuff to try to get rid of. Cali Cruisers are racing derived, you know, they're minimalist, right? You strip everything that you don't need off of it, so we're just streamlining stuff.
In racing, less weight equals greater speed. For help stripping down the engine, Jesse calls in the KTM motor expert, Tom Moen.
The goal here with Tom today is to figure out what pieces we can strip away from this thing, make it as naked as possible. So this is our vacuum petcock, which we won't need. We're gonna get a vacuum
Fuel pump. Okay.
I can lose both of these covers here, right? These are emission. Yeah, this is like your air conditioning in your car and stuff. Comforts that we don't need, you know, and we're just gonna do away with it. Hard line it for racing.
Having caught wind that Roland is using a Harley motor, Jesse is confident he'll have the lighter drivetrain.
So now we're getting somewhere. We're gonna have a huge advantage with weight over Roland's bike because, you know, with this package, it's 100 pounds less than what Roland's gonna be using. He's using like old technology that, you know, is heavy. It's a huge chunk. His motor alone weighs 50 pounds more than my entire engine, carburation, clutch, transmission, everything.
Up next, Jesse goes wild.
Way to work it, Rooke.
And the Chopper King lays down the law.
You had 10 days.
Okay.
You now have 9 days.
Okay.
It's day 2 in Southern California. Roland and Jesse aren't just competitors, they're roommates.
If I beat him, I'm gonna raise his rent. If he beats me, I'm gonna raise his rent. Poor Jesse, dude. That's all I gotta say.
In Long Beach, Roland, the landlord, kicks his build into high gear. He calls in master fabricator Rodney Aguirre to work on the tank.
This fella over here is Rodney on the rocks. We wanted to keep the weight as low as possible on this bike, so doing all the sheet metal out of aluminum is going to give us a real lightweight bike. Like it needs to come more like that. We're going for kind of like a duck-billed platypus on crack. Pretty much.
In 9 short days, this raw metal must be ready for the racetrack.
This is the top of the gas tank.
But operations aren't going as smoothly as planned.
You just kind of got to do whatever it takes to get it looking right, whether you use your knee, you know, work it in the wheel, throw a hammer at it, whatever. It might be on this one.
The tank is far from finished, but Roland has to attend to another important piece of fabrication. He heads to Alpine Stars to get fit for his custom race leathers.
It's really important when you're riding really hard, and there's always a possibility you're going to fall down and hit the ground. So having the best protection possible is very important. I'm glad I wore my clean boxers today.
There's about 36 measurements, so it might take a few minutes, but we should go right through it.
All right. I'm going to race for close to 9 years professionally, so If you race for that long, you're just bound to fall off a lot. And, you know, any of us who ride have fallen off a lot of times. Just got about 32 broken bones to show for it, so. This arm twice, this arm twice, the same break twice, this ankle twice, this ankle once, this bone here, broke my back, T6, that one sucked. Cracked my liver in half, broken, I don't know how many ribs, a lot of ribs.
Racing is risk, and current AMA racer Ben Bostrom has also paid the price.
Did you break your back at Road America?
No, I broke my back at Silverstone last year. And
Oh,
it just
yeah.
wrecks you, you know? You think you're Superman, then you break your back and you're
All of a sudden you realize, like,
this frail old guy, you know?
yeah.
Roland and Ben are not alone in their injuries. As a former motocross competitor, Jesse Rooke's dreams of becoming a professional race car driver came to an end after a tragic dirt bike accident left him unable to walk for 2 years.
I got hurt when I was really young and never made the steps that it took to become, you know, a national or a pro level champion. Every time you get on the racetrack, it's a risk. Every time you ride a motorcycle, it's a risk.
It's late in the day at Rooke Customs, and work is at a complete standstill. Despite having only 10 build days and a massive amount of work remaining, Jesse gave his crew the day off so he could do a photo shoot for Rooke Customs.
Way to work it, Rook.
Unknown to Mr. Rooke, Hugh the Chopper King arrives to set him straight.
I'd like to ask you what the is going on here. Who are these people?
These
Who are you
are photographers and stuff doing some posters for our business.
You have a contract with Discovery Channel to do a biker build-up.
Right?
This is not a biker build-up. Just drop these honeys and let's go.
See you girls.
In an attempt to get Jesse to focus on bike building, the Chopper King lays down the law.
Since you've stolen a day from us, I'm taking a day from you.
Cool. Take
Instead
away
of
the
10
show. Do
days,
on camera,
you're
take away
having
my
9
show.
days.
Bye-bye, Discovery. Well,
I don't know if that's what you want.
no, it's not what I want. I think it's an honor, it's a privilege for me to be here and doing this, and I'm trying to do the best I can.
I say it again. You had 10 days.
Okay.
You now have 9 days.
Okay.
Biker Build-Off has spoken. Jesse now has one less day to build a race-ready custom. It's the end of day 3. While Jesse falls behind at RSD, Roland jumps ahead, building his rear swing arm.
We're gonna tie these 2 steel tubes, these 2 steel radius tubes into our swing arm pivot that's right here. Having the 2 lower tubes is gonna give us a little bit of extra strength down low. It's gonna keep the swing arm from twisting under stress. So when we're deep in a corner, we're able to feed the power on nicely and it won't bound up.
The swing arm is underway, but the unfinished tank is proving a source of frustration.
Piece. Hate that piece.
The top of the tank is taking shape. The question is, what shape?
This gas tank has gone from a platypus to a turtle to a super pissed off Viking, and now we're at a wide-mouthed bass. Won't be the first gas tank that looked like a fish. Sometimes fish happens.
It's day 4 at Rooke Customs. With one less build day, the pressure is on.
Well, what we created right here is a box. So we can put our oil in there, we can put fuel in there, we can do anything.
Despite the time constraints, this artist makes a bold and time-consuming decision. Rather than running the traditional pre-manufactured race forks, Jesse stays true to his style.
This is one of my front ends, so you can see it just has curved legs on it, like kind of a banana, you know, so I just call it a nana. I'm real creative over here.
Front suspension is a key element in the performance and maneuverability of any race bike. Choosing form over function, Jesse's commitment to a girder front end could cost him the race.
Just thinking about rolling up some tubes for my front end like this.
With one less day and little help, Jesse is under the gun. He's got to get this bike to paint by morning if he's ever going to finish in just 9 days. Coming up, after a devastating phone call,
One of my best friends passed away.
Roland's build is thrown off course.
We crashed. We're gonna get back up and we're gonna rule it.
In Huntington Beach, the clock is turning on Jesse's final day of fabrication.
We just finished welding all these panels on. Everything's looking good right now. All the panels are on, seat pan, rear cowl section.
It's a race to get to paint, and Mr. Rooke picks up the pace.
The bike feels little, light, and nimble. I'd like to pull it off the stand so we can put it on the ground and see how it is, how it rolls around.
Fabrication is complete, and Jesse is confident.
My approach to beating Roland, and this is right here. Building the bike. It's faster, better. I'm gonna win. No brakes. Ah!
In just 4 days, Jesse has transformed raw steel into an ultra-lightweight vintage-style racer fit for any track. With its narrow wheelbase, shortened rake, and ultra-fast motor, this one-off custom is built for high velocity. At RSD, after days of work on the tank, progress is good.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly, dude. I like it. It is full HR Geiger. This is like looks like aliens. Looks like an alien head.
I like it.
The tank is finally in shape. Roland and his team move on to the subframe.
We're gonna have to blend the subframe off of this line because this line's here. You know, there's no getting away from it. That looks cool.
It's late in the day. After an unexpected and devastating phone call, Roland's build comes to a sudden stop.
One of my best friends passed away. Johnny Chop, no longer with us. Johnny had heart problems when he was younger, and he had a heart transplant 14 years ago. And he'd, for 14 years, been living with the heart of a 16-year-old girl.
Only days before Johnny's death, Roland had asked him to help on the build.
He came by on Friday, and we just talked about what we're gonna do. He's like, "What do you need me for?" I'm like, "Well, you know, everything. Like, come by and just help out. Just need your energy and everything to help the project go along." And he's just like, I just want to kick Jesse's ass. So I feel like I owe it to him now to really get in and build this bike. I think this bike's gonna be the biggest shrine to Johnny.
Johnny Chop is not only a close friend of Roland's, he's a friend of the biker build-off community. A skilled artist and craftsman, Johnny graced countless episodes with his talents.
This piece will become one of the most righteous 2-in-1 tailpipes ever created.
The ultimate free spirit, Johnny embodied the bad boy biker lifestyle.
Choppers like this should be a little loud. Be a little obnoxious if you don't piss a couple people off. Then you didn't do it right.
Never questioning the journey, Johnny Chop lived life to the fullest, embracing each day with no regrets.
It's been a ball. It's been a long, arduous, tiring blast. Keep it real.
It's day 5. Under the gun, Jesse heads over to Troy Lee Designs for paint.
For the overall look of this bike, I'm really kind of giving it to the guys at Troy Lee Designs. All right, man, we got 2 days.
Get it handled.
All right, I'll be back.
Left to their own devices, the crew at Troy Lee get to work.
This bike's gonna be a sun-kissed orange with a pinch of metal flake to give it the classic lowrider style to it.
With the white base coat down, Jason designs the graphics.
Basically what we're gonna do is 3-pointed scallops, real sharp, and we want to get the feeling of it going 120 miles an hour standing still.
Back at Roland Sands Design, the crew remembers Johnny Chop and forced themselves to push on, as Johnny would have.
We kind of stopped last night, and we're trying to just regroup today and get it back together. Do him proud. You know, it's real tough. You know, he's our brother, and we love him, and we miss him horribly. Somehow we're going to do this and do it right.
I think we're gold. We're just going to go ahead and make this thing look like a roller today.
For now, the team must move forward if they're ever going to make it to paint on time. In the final hours of fabrication, the team rallies. It's all hands on deck.
That's working, huh? That's perfect. Yeah, this is insane. I like to be in attack mode, and this definitely is that. Poor Jesse, dude. That's all I gotta say. This is the baddest bike I've ever built.
Using the latest design and engineering technology, Roland has sculpted one of the most aggressive and agile race bikes ever built. With top-of-the-line suspension and a 150 horsepower engine, this bike is built for speed. It's late in the day at Troy Lee Designs, and this team of painters is feeling the pressure.
Basically, you can't rush the paint. You got to let it do what it does and dry it on its own and make it happen. Hope everything goes well. Well, step 19 out of 24 is done.
After hours of applying layer upon layer of paint, veteran artist and pinstriper Jay Stemska tackles the gold leaf and pinstriping.
When you're pinstriping, you want to keep a steady hand and basically look ahead of where you're going with the brush.
There are only 2 days to paint, and the crew is racing against the clock. But this paint wouldn't be complete without one final touch.
Pushing it to the wires always. There it is, the man behind the custom bike.
In Santa Barbara, California, premier painter Chris Wood prepares to turn Roland's raw metal into a moving masterpiece.
Roland emailed me this image here that he designed. We're gonna kind of go off a theme of a purse. Well, this pattern in the background is kind of like a Gucci bag. I believe in this case it's a Dunhill type design, but it's RSD flipped over and it's mirrored over probably 300 times in this case.
With only 4 days remaining before the race, time is of the essence. But progress on the paint comes to a grinding halt. The culprit? Roland Sands himself.
Change number 5. This guy is unbelievable. I'm gonna do what I do anyways. So. Oh, okay, I'll send you a picture. You done? We're good to go. The secret mix. Got the maestro here. He's about ready to spray this candy up for Roland. Don't mess it up. You mess it up, you'll be hearing from me.
While Roland's bike goes in for red candy flake, at Rooke Customs, Jesse gets a jump on his assembly.
That's rad.
Nice color. I think it's going to look good with the dark motor and black accessories, black wheels.
It's awesome.
But with one less build day than Roland, for Jesse, every second counts.
Yeah, looking back now at losing my day to you, we're in a tough spot right now. If everything goes right, yeah, we should be good. If not, you know, we might be sleeping here at the shop.
Back Back at Air Tricks, Chris Wood adds the graphics to Roland's rolling tribute.
If you're wondering, no regrets. It's a tattoo Johnny had on his neck. I guess the guy never regretted anything he did. What I'm doing now, I'm finishing up the sizing. Just make sure I got everything covered. I'm just gonna lightly tap down the gold. Johnny was a big fan of variegated gold, so this is gonna be fitting for his tribute.
It's day 8 in Long Beach, and Roland designs a set of one-off custom race wheels.
Everything I want out of a woman is what we're gonna try to get out of this wheel. I want her to be lightweight, sexy, hot, good lines, ready to lay it down. So this is the wheel we're gonna see machined today out in the shop.
As the head designer at Performance Machine, Roland has a luxury most builders only dream of. A top-of-the-line machine shop just steps from his office.
All right, so one thing Performance Machine is really good at is removing material off a wheel. So we're gonna take about 10 pounds out of this wheel.
While Daryl cuts Roland's newly designed wheels, in the shop, the crew begins assembly.
Throw this buddy on here. So this is our frame. It's back from powder coat. Dude, let's go eat lunch. This thing's gonna go together so easy. Pretty stoked. A stock Harley is about 68 horsepower. We gave this motor to Kendall Johnson. It came back with more than twice that. So we're looking at around 150 horsepower. I think this bike's just gonna handle so well and work so well that regardless of how much horsepower Jesse has, we're gonna smoke him.
Just a few miles up the coast, the pressure is on. Jesse has one less build day and more than his share of distractions from the competition.
Erica, tell Erica that, you know what? I'm filming a TV show. Quit calling me, please. Roland's assistant keeps calling and keeps calling. She keeps asking everybody she knows what I'm building. Roland keeps asking everybody what I'm building. Don't worry, you guys. We'll see you at the racetrack. There we have it, rear wheels mounted up, brake calipers on.
Jesse is attempting to finish his build in 9 days, but the motor is no easy fit.
I got this side, you get that side.
You gotta lower it down.
No, you don't, you gotta get the motor straight.
The added thickness of 15 layers of paint has made squeezing in the motor nearly impossible. The solution? A spreader.
Just giving ourselves a little extra clearance for when we put the motor in.
The motor is in. Ta-da!
At RSD, the bike is bolting together flawlessly.
This particular shock is off a Yamaha R6 and it's a full factory tune racing shock. This suspension is gonna work great for both the road race course and the dirt.
Put Loctite so these handlebars won't fly off while Roland's going like 400 miles an hour racing past Jesse.
Late in the day, Chris Wood delivers his masterpiece.
No regrets.
That's how we do.
That's how we roll.
For the ultimate tribute, Chris painted the image of Johnny Chop underneath the tail section.
It's nice, dude. It's nice. That's so my boy can ride with me, man.
Seeing the completed paint, the crew has a change of heart about the ill-fated tank.
See, now Rodney's all, dude, I made that tank. I love that tank, dude. I love that tank.
We didn't want it, but I want it now. I want to take it home.
I want to take it home and just hang it.
Because we were going to take it partying just for fun. Now it's like, you could pull chicks with that thing.
Totally.
It's day 9 at Rooke Customs. Only 5 hours remain until Jesse's bike must fire.
This is our titanium exhaust that FMF was cool enough to build for us. So we have the most expensive, coolest exhaust probably in the V-twin world today.
Todd has spent hours wiring, and the job is far from complete.
Yeah, right now Todd is going through a massive undertaking trying to get this thing wired up. He's working with 15 to 20 wires compared to 3. Yeah, since we lost our day, we got a little bit of pressure to try and get this thing finished up. I'm confident in Todd, though, right? He won his championships. He's got his trophy on the wall.
We were looking for the red and green wire. It's attached to something that may be necessary. I've been wiring for approximately 4.5 hours today. I've been punished for Jesse's extravagant behavior. Running around with models. I could be cruising today and doing a very nice job. Now I'm in rush mode. He's gonna get what he gets.
So we've been wiring for hours.
Only an hour remains in Jesse's build. After 9 tedious hours of wiring, it's finally time to see if this racing wonder will fire.
This is the moment we've been waiting for right now.
Todd's hard work pays off. The bike turns over on the first try.
Sounds bitchin'. I'm glad it's running. Time to go home.
Yeah, no, it sounds bitchin'.
Yeah, it sounds badass. It's a lot quieter than I thought. That's cool.
This is gonna kill Roland. I don't think he has any idea.
I wish Roland the best of luck, because I think the way this thing sounds, he's gonna need it.
Guess we didn't need that extra day, Hugh. Chopper King.
In only 9 days, Jesse built a one-of-a-kind custom racing beauty, combining vintage style and modern technology. This ultra-lightweight cruiser is one for the reckoning. It's day 10 in Long Beach, and Roland's smooth assembly suddenly goes south.
Dude, so stupid, dude. We had a real bitchin' looking exhaust system. We had all these bitchin' welds that were just super tight and nicely done. And we had a nice little race system, and they polished off all the welds.
While Rodney re-welds the pipes, Roland heads outside to blow off some steam. After Roland works over the Cadillac, inside it's back to work on the bike. It's late in the day. It's time to see if the bike will start. First attempt, no spark.
We got oil, we got trans fluid, we got gas. There may be some loose wires. The starter's just not getting anything. Definitely not an electrical genius. Yeah, we just got to get spark to the spark plug. So somewhere in this wiring situation, we have either some wires in wrong, flipped, or some came loose or something. So we got to go back through the wiring harness and see what's up.
It's 10 p.m. 2 hours remain until this bike must fire.
We're gonna get this thing started, but in the meanwhile, we gotta have at least some kind of fire.
Roland is cracking under the pressure.
Yeah, it's gonna fire up right now. We're on it.
It's not good, kids. This is definitely the best $300 I've ever spent in my life.
After hours and hours of work, still no spark.
Maybe we need to just sit down and have a discussion with this motorcycle and see what she wants, because apparently we're not giving her what she wants. I'm just trying to take things out of the equation right now.
It's almost midnight. Having scrutinized the entire bike and terrorized his shop, Roland is at a total loss.
Went back through the wiring schematic, traced all the wires back up to see if they're where they should be, and they are. And there's no fire coming out of those plug wires, and I don't know why. And neither does James, and neither does Rodney, and neither does Tom. So we built this really bitchin' bike that won't fire, and I'm tripping right now.
In the 11th hour, fortune finally shines upon RSD.
It was that sensor the whole time, that stupid sensor. We went through the entire bike. Every piece of electricity, every piece of electrical component on this bike. And it was the last thing that we didn't check. We have fire.
Combining aggressive frame design, the latest suspension, and a 150 horsepower Harley engine, Roland Sands has built a high-performance racing machine. Coming up, Jesse and Roland put their creations to the ultimate test.
I hope you don't fall off, because it's going to hurt bad.
Risking life and limb. Blazing the trail through the California desert are two of the fastest customs ever built. Their destination, Willow Springs and the garage company's Corsa Motoclassica. There they will meet to race on the fastest road in the West. On this journey, they will prepare their minds for what lies ahead.
We're very competitive, you know, we're competitive with girls, we're competitive with our cars, our trucks, our bikes, our skateboards, you know, we're competitive with everything.
For me, it's an all or nothing game. It's not like I can go out and just go mess around. It's like I get into it and I go out and race, well, I'm gonna wanna win for sure.
In a few short moments, Roland and Jesse will hit the pavement, putting it all on the line to test for the first time the speed and performance of their creations.
Before a race, you know, you're usually pretty stressed out because you know you're gonna go put your life on the line.
At 150 miles an hour, a snapped cable or a seized throttle means more than a pit stop. It could spell the difference between life and death.
Every time you get on the bike, you're taking your life and you're saying, okay, I'm gonna, you know, I'm throwing it out there. The faster I'm gonna go, the harder I'm gonna ride, the more I'm gonna throw it out there.
3 radically different races will determine the champion. The first, 4 laps around a 3/8-mile dirt flat track. The second, 1 lap around a 2.5-mile paved road course. And finally, 3 drags down a 500-yard straightaway. The rider who wins 2 out of 3 races will take home the trophy. Up first, the flat track. The challenge, 4 laps around a 3/8-of-a-mile circular dirt course. As they make their way to the starting line, Jesse is confident.
I think in the flat track I have an advantage because of the weight, wheelbase, and the power levels of my bike. I think they're superior for that category of racing.
Just because it's got a number on it doesn't necessarily make it a race bike. So we'll see if Jesse brought a race bike or not.
The Chopper King starts the first race. And they're off.
Turn 4 on the outside is Roland Sands. Neck and neck, just about too wide coming out of turn 2.
In the 4th and final lap, Jesse makes his move.
Jesse ripped the lead. Roland trying to get some throttle, going a little sideways into turn 4 as they put their feet down. Dirt track style, folks. Here we go.
Roland tries to come back, but his bike is having a problem. No throttle. Pairing it up on the flat track, the winner is Jesse Rooke.
Better luck next time, Roland.
Race number 2, 1 lap around a 2.5-mile paved road course with a lethal combination of 150-mile-an-hour straightaways and wicked turns. This course is the supreme test of their skill as builders and riders.
I hope you don't fall off because it's gonna hurt bad.
A former AMA racing champion, Roland is right at home on the speedway. And with a top-of-the-line suspension, his bike is made for this race.
It's got Dunlop slicks on it. It's got lightweight wheels. It's got a big motor. It's got plenty of ground clearance, and it's got an incredible set of Olean suspension. I'd say Jesse doesn't have too much of a chance on the road race course.
But on this course, reliability is an enormous factor, and an already testy throttle could prove devastating.
Let's watch and listen. Yeah, it's Roland Sands, Jesse Rooke just about ready.
You up, dude?
I'm nervous, dude. My belly's all upset.
The road course is underway as they fly off the starting line.
If I can stay behind Roland, then he's gonna have a problem. because my bike's light. It'll be fast enough off the corner and down the straightaway to slingshot past him.
Roland's in the lead. But out of turn number 3, Jesse makes his presence known.
I'll tell you what, Jesse, Rooke making a good showing on a rigid frame girder front end. He's making a good showing up around the Omega.
It's neck and neck around turn 5, but in the final stretch, Roland turns up the heat.
Right now, let's look at my Roland Sands. Has this one-lap road race event in hand. He's just flat flying.
In the road course, Roland Sands takes the easy win. Jesse and Roland are tied, each victorious in one event. Now, it's down to the final event, the drag race.
I brought the fastest little rocket that I think that I could build. And being a rigid, it's gonna launch. Drag cars and top fuel dragsters, they're rigid, and there's no suspension. You use air pressure and tires to do it, so that's the strategy for that.
They're off. Roland Sands takes the first heat, crossing the finish line at 138 miles per hour.
Roland.
Race number 2. Jesse turns up the heat, taking the win, topping out at 141 miles per hour. Just past the finish line, Roland Sands goes down.
Oh, the thing just stalled on me. Oh my God, that hurt.
What happened?
Just went to turn the thing around and the freaking clutch just popped. And just boom. See, that bike was made for going fast. You try to go slow on it, gets pissed off. Dude, that hurt.
Despite his injured knee and a faltering clutch, Roland heads to the line for the third and final drag race. It's down to the final race. 500 yards stand between these riders and the Biker Build-Off Trophy.
With what happened with Johnny, it makes me want to live life even harder. It makes me want to take more risks. It makes me want to live life even better and do as much as I can in the short time that I'm here. Yeah, Johnny's definitely riding with us on this one.
In the end, with a little help from above, in the third and final drag race, the winner is clear.
And the new Biker Build-Off champion is Roland Sands.
It's weird because something does feel like it's missing this weekend, and that was my friend Johnny. So this is for Johnny more than anybody else. So that's it. Thank you.
Another Biker Build-Off is over. Jesse Rooke and Roland Sands rose to the challenge and built 2 of the most extraordinary custom race bikes to ever hit the pavement. With supreme skill, incredible guts, and unstoppable spirit, these young hotshots pushed the limit and set a new bar in the world of custom motorcycle racing.